Today on Cooking with Abbey, we're making slow-baked beans as part of our Sugar Shack series on Cooking with Abbey. Hi, my name's Abbey, this is my dad, and this is my sister Rebecca.
Homemade baked beans! Is it worth the effort? That is such an interesting question. I don't know. Because beans out of a can, very good. British heritage, beans on toast is the thing we do. I think these are really good. I think I really enjoy these. Yeah. Second batch we've made, we introduced some sausages, which are optional. They're vegan sausages, Beyond sausages specifically, which we find are amazing and delicious. Beans are totally good without them. If I'm honest, which I always should be, I don't like the color of our beans yet, so that's something we're gonna work on. I tweaked the recipe. I'm Elma Fudd. Whiskily Wabbits. Now we're getting sued by Warner Brothers. First Disney, now Warner. The list goes on. Great flavor, nice maple syrup, because I'm gonna say that we may or may not have got some baked beans from a Sugar Shack, a proper Sugar Shack, and it may have had molasses in it instead of maple syrup. So I'm just saying, if we're doing a maple syrup thing, put some maple syrup in your beans, people. And they weren't as good as ours, though their color, very nice. Speaking of all of these fantastic details, where can people find the ingredients for today's recipe?
Here or at cookingwithabbey.com.
Specifically.
.com.
Shall we get started, young lady?
We shall.
Oh, a little more enthusiasm. The first thing that we have to do, folks, is soak our beans. So we are opting to use dried beans. Why? Because if you start with beans from a can and you're making baked beans, just buy baked beans. They're good. They're great. But we're gonna go and we're gonna do this from scratch. So what did we do? Last night, Abby poured enough water to cover a layer of dried beans in this big old bowl here. You're jumping ahead. Don't jump ahead. Abby, tell our watchers, hi watchers, what happened?
Well, we didn't put enough water, so the beans...
We put enough water.
But the beans still sucked it all up, so we just had to add more water.
So, you have to keep an eye on it, right? And before you go to bed, if you're doing it overnight, which you should, make sure there's at least an inch or 2 centimeters over the top of the beans, because we put probably a little less than that, and when we checked on it, there were beans poking out the top without it. We drained off that water, and over here, as you see, we have the difference between soaked and not soaked.
Started, and this is
and that is after the soaking. Now, we made this recipe, and a few people suggested cooking them for a little bit on medium-high heat for a while before we put them in the crock pot. So that's what we're gonna do. We got a big old pot. Rebecca, you wanna dump those in there with one arm? Cue the dog on what's going on? Abs is gonna add a whole bunch of water that we put in a pitcher here for simplicity's sake. And we're gonna pour that in, and we're gonna boil these. Yeah, of course it's hot, that way. We're gonna boil these for an hour before we put them in the crock pot for days. Why? Because it's gonna make
days?
No, not really. Maybe close. This is gonna tenderize our beans a little more, because I don't know about you, but I don't like...
Last time we made them, they were hard.
Yeah, I don't like my beans with a bite. I like my beans to be kind of soft. Not mushy, but soft. So we're gonna boil the heck out of these. No, we're gonna leave those, because I wanna see, when these are done boiling, if there's a visible difference. We'll boil these for an hour. We're gonna bring it up to a boil, then we're gonna lower it to like a simmer, like a medium simmer. Again, watch your liquid, you don't wanna boil them off. And then we're gonna get the rest of our ingredients ready for the crock pot, and a secret optional ingredient. So we'll be right back. All right, secret sauce, people. We don't do these in order. We do them all over the place. We pre-did our beans, right? We pre-boiled them, and they're amazing. And they're super soft.
Size difference.
We can see the size difference that we did. Start, finish, pre-boiled. Anyway, because these are already so good, you have options with your crock pot of like 3 hours or 6 hours. We're totally cutting down to 3 hours in the crock pot. We don't need longer, which means we're gonna put our sausages in at like the 1.5 hour mark to warm them. Not like the 3 hour mark I'm about to say. I can't wink really well with this side. Anyway, enough blabbing, enough behind the sauce. Everything here goes in there. So Abby, go with that.
Beans?
Beans, dump them in. We drained out the liquid that we boiled it in. There's a little left, and that's okay. Jeez Louise. Let me get that out of the way because no one needs to see that. Onion, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna watch, aren't you? Here, stick that in there and that in there.
Wait.
You put the ketchup in.
What do I do?
Put the mustard in here. Or I'll put the mustard in there. Is the mustard going in there?
Can I have the spatula?
Well, hold on a second. Stick that in there too, because really there's no reason. What is that brown stuff going on?
The secret sauce.
It's our secret sauce for making this veggie. Liquid smoke
And Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
What's in here?
Maple syrup.
Why?
Because it's sugar shack.
Maple syrup rocks. So 3 hours.
I never thought I'd
crock
eat-
pot. Oh no, wait, hold on. Mixy in there. And I'll show you a zoom in of what this looks like. We are now going to, as you saw, there's a little bit of liquid in there. Go ahead and top it up. Remember, not too much water.
An inch over?
Oh.
Well, I would say level, right? Some recipes are like, add 400 cups. We personally like it. Stop there. I personally like my beans, and maybe it's a British way of liking your beans, not like a soup, more like a syrupy. So add like another smidge. Okay, maybe a little more than a smidge. 10 smidges. I'll tell you when to stop. And stop. That's where we're gonna leave it. So again, I'll show you a zoom in here. So boom, that's what we're doing. We like ours a little thicker, a little less runny. I still think these are gonna be kind of runny because we're not doing it for as long. The other thing that we're gonna do, listen, we're doing 3 hours, but do you know when beans taste best?
The next day.
The next day. So we're gonna cook these for 3 hours now. 2 hours or 1.5, add our sausage.
And then we have
Cook
to
them
wait
through.
tomorrow.
Gonna turn it off, we're gonna leave it in the crock pot. Tomorrow morning we're gonna heat them up again, and that's when we're gonna try them, because that's when they're the best.
This is a 3-day process.
3 day, ooh, wow, it is.
Oh my god.
So if you guys have 3 free days, then feel more than welcome to make this.
You know, when you say it like that, there's really no reason why we wouldn't just take them out of a can, because they're really good out of a can. But this is fun, come on! See you tomorrow morning. I alluded to a secret ingredient. It's not a secret ingredient.
Sausage.
Beyond sausage.
Well, now everybody's giving away all the secrets, and Ginger's very thirsty and having a little drink. Beans and sausages are like, I don't know, beans and sausages, like cookies and cream, or
Yum.
coffee and milk,
Not everyone takes milk
Yeah.
in their coffee.
sugar and milk. So,
No, not everyone takes sugar in their coffee.
wait a minute though, we're trying to keep these vegetarian. What are you doing with sausages? These are Beyond sausages, as I think Rebecca alluded to. We love these. Acquired taste, not everybody loves them. Of the vegetarian sausage equivalents, hands down the best. Some of these things are out and out nasty. These rock. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna cut one.
And I'm gonna cut.
I was about to say,
Can I cut one? No. And we're gonna cut these maybe into 4. What are we gonna do? We're gonna cut them
say
into 3.
3, yeah.
And we're not doing a heck of a lot of sausage. And why are we doing sausage?
I'd say thinner, like cut them in half.
Well,
after
you
that.
do you. And what
I'm
we're
gonna
going to do is, why is there a frying pan on the work surface? Because we're gonna fry off the caps a little bit. And I would do this even if you do a non-veggie version. Here,
What's the skin on it?
It's best not to ask.
Okay,
I don't know. Careful, don't cut your fingers off.
I'm gonna cut my finger.
And it's, yeah, you want to not smush the sausage. So we're gonna warm up a pan and we're gonna fry the tops in hopes of building up a little bit of a skin so that they don't turn to mush in our beans. And full disclosure, this is 100% an experiment, as I beat this child, because clearly I don't feed her enough already. Don't get me angry. Meanwhile, your mom's on the other side going, that's very thin.
Yeah, that's how I like mine.
See, yeah, I know, but that's gonna fall apart. I'd go thicker than that. Because that's my fear. We're gonna end up with beans and like
okay.
sausage mush. It's still gonna
Tastes the
taste
same.
good. It's gonna taste great because beans and sausage are good.
Although I'd rather
I think if
have
this
it-
were real meat, I wouldn't touch it. Like real sausage.
Hit that pan, we're gonna hit it with a little oil, we're gonna fry these up, and then we're gonna come back, put everything else together. Alright, so here's what we're doing. This way up, okay? This seam side down. It doesn't matter up or down. It's just that one of the sides that got cut goes down. We're not trying to cook them all the way through, right? Because we are going to add them to the crock pot afterward, so they will continue to cook. We're just looking for a nice little brown edge on them, and then once we get it, once we get that golden, we're going to flip them one at a time.
Flip that sausage.
And I'm not. Somebody else is, because my name's not on the show.
Nope.
I'm not even sure why I'm here.
I'm not on the show.
Yeah, my name's on the show.
Well then,
I'm going.
you do the big ones.
I'll do the little.
What? No, here, watch.
You
So if you're
put
scared-
your hand the other way.
Just knock it over.
Ah,
Okay? And boom, that's all we really need, right? We're just putting a little brown on there like I showed you on the zoom ins. Some of them got a little crispier than others. That's fine. It's all good. They're gonna heat all the way through as we put them in our sausages, in our beans. And we're gonna wait till probably about the halfway point, right? So we're doing our beans for, what did we say? 6 hours? So we'll do them at the 3 hour mark. We'll add in our sausages. Again, the whole reason for that is so that they don't fall apart, because we don't want them to fall apart.
Sausages.
Sausages are great, aren't they? We will see you in like
6 hours.
2.5 hours when we dump these in.
3 hours.
6 hours? We'll see you in 6 hours.
6 hours.
Oh wait, we gotta do time lapse. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Days, would you hold on? I gotta chat before you eat. Are you hungry by any chance? Oh no, I offended her. I'm in trouble later, people. She's gonna file this spoon down and shank me. What was I saying before I was interrupted? It's the next day. We waited a full day. We've maybe sampled the beans a little bit. They may be delicious. But
You sampled the beans?
We had them at dinner.
no, not everybody did.
Oh.
Nah, all right.
I did.
In. Mom want to taste them? Mom's right here.
Come on, Mom.
Have some beans while Mom samples. Again, second batch. So much better than our first batch.
You can cut it.
Yeah, you can cut it. You can go right in there. You can do whatever you want. Great flavor. Love the flavor. As I said at the intro, still working on the color. Maybe a hit of brown sugar or something like that would change it. But the flavor is amazing. The beans are really good. The addition of the whatchamacallit there. Sausage. Fantastic. And that's one of the Sugar Shack things that we didn't do.
You should have
Often
cut
they make-
them smaller.
Yes.
I should have cut them smaller like Abby did.
Yeah, except at the same time, I think.
I guess everybody's a little hungry as everybody dives into beans.
Nice
Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in our Sugar Shack series. Go make some beans on your own. It's not hard. It's time consuming, but these are way better than what you'd find in a can. Thank you for watching, and thank you for our special guest.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode.
Find us on Facebook.
And Instagram for behind the scenes and more.
Alrighty, beans. The more you eat,
This wasn't
the more...
locked. So I just.
The more you
OMG.
fart and the more it's disgusting. Hold up.
Yep.